Hello, hello. Let's see if I'm actually live here. Okay, I think we're live. I'm just looking to see. I'm going to check on my phone. Welcome, everyone, to Afternoon Tea Time. It looks like it's cutting off my head a little bit. I can't quite tell. Let's see here. I think Brandy mentioned this the other day, but Facebook has a whole new live structure for going live. So, all right, awesome. Yes, there I am. Perfect. So as you're joining, if you can hear me, I would love if you could just do some little hearts or like thumbs up to let me know that you can hear me and that you're here with me. And yeah, I'm just really excited to be here for my debut on the Purity Yoga page. I've been watching a lot of Broadway folks on Twitter because Broadway's all shut down along with everything else. And I don't know. I've just been watching a lot of their live things from their living room, which is fun. So here's my Purity Yoga debut. So I actually have my coffee in front of me today instead of tea. This is my second coffee of the day, and I think this is going to be my cutoff limit. But as you join today, I would love if you could let me know what kind of tea you have in front of you, or if you're eating your lunch or whatever. So I am currently recording from my home office in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And it's a cloudy day here. So yesterday was really beautiful, which I'm grateful for. And so today I'm kind of just embracing this. This is perfect to have a tea time or a tea day on a cloudy day. So let's dive into what I have for today. So throughout this week, we at Purity have really been focusing on the importance of being here and now. And in essence, we're developing this power of presence. But something that, in my experience with my coaching clients and with myself, is that a huge block many of us face when we seek to become grounded and present is our tendency as humans to attach meaning and stories to what is around us. So what I mean by that is we immediately gravitate towards saying something is good or bad or right or wrong instead of simply allowing what is and being present with it. Really, this process of presence, this allowing and noticing, it's the foundational elements to honoring our human experience, honoring our feelings, so we can then move forward from a place of integrity. So that in mind, today's topic is noticing without judgment. It's being in the here and now and noticing without judgment. So I can't tell if anybody's watching. I can't see. This is a whole new little system that they have going on here. But if you are here, I would love to know, like do some smileys or something. I don't even know if I can see that with this new portal. So I'm trusting. I think I can see comments, so maybe comment. But either way, I am trusting that you're there, and I'm just really excited about the content today because it really has been the foundational piece for me as I have then able to step into personal agency in my life. So let me know as I'm chatting if this resonates with you. So first up, I want to dive into the law of relativity. So the law of relativity is one of the 12 laws of the universe. It's much like the law of gravity. It's like functioning around us. We don't necessarily are like, oh, I noticed that's happening today. But it's just kind of ongoing. And in essence, this law of relativity is that nothing in life has any meaning except for the meaning that we give it. That our experiences are relative. If we look at this practically, it's like if we break a glass or like a mug of tea. I can see people are here. I can see some of my family members are here. So thanks for being here, guys. And so if we look at this practically, it's like when we break a glass or a mug of tea, for in context with today, the experience itself of breaking a glass is not good or bad, but we generally ascribe meaning to it, saying that it was a bad experience or that it was frustrating. So the truth, keeping in mind the law of relativity, is that the situation of breaking the glass is not actually good or bad. It simply is. It happened, and what really matters is how we respond to it. And when we exercise noticing without judgment, we can respond from a much more grounded place and within our integrity, within our personal values as an individual. So when we think of what our world is experiencing right now, it's especially easy to ascribe meaning to it because people are losing their jobs, they're getting sick, and some people are even dying. And this is really where noticing without judgment becomes so, so important. It allows us to create a container of grace for ourselves and for others. We can take a step back and we can just notice without judgment. We're able to fully allow and honor our experience of the situation and others' experience of the situation. That our emotions are not good or nor bad. They simply are, and they really desire to be seen and heard. So today, my primary focus is just setting that foundation of noticing. As we exercise our muscles in noticing, it leads to the ability to take aligned action, which in turn leads to inner peace and the ability to live our lives from a place of personal power. But the foundation is noticing without judgment, so that's what I want to focus on today. Setting the foundation of being in the here and now. So before I dive back in, I'm just going to check and see if there's any new comments. Awesome. Yes, thank you guys for joining me. Thank you so much. So today with noticing, how to notice without judgment, because this can sound really like, okay, how do you actually notice without judgment? Because it's so ingrained in our systems, we process through story, right? Like, I feel like I hear that a lot. I come from a marketing background, and people process through story. That's why so many movies and commercials that we see, it's all story, and we engage with story really easily. So to actually step out of the story for a minute can take a lot of practice. And this is actually where yoga can be so, so helpful. Hey, thanks for being here. So yoga can be so helpful with this because noticing without judgment includes a lot of mind-body connection. We live in a culture that often thinks our minds and bodies are separate instead of allowing it to be one whole human, which we are. So noticing without judgment includes bringing us back into communication with our whole self. And yoga is such a beautiful space to do this in because it allows you to learn what your body is saying, allows you to quiet your mind so you can actually feel into what your body is communicating. This is why for me, I specifically love Sarah's yin class, as it brings me back into my body so I can notice my human experience without judgment. So at the moment, we can't all meet up for class together, like in person, but there are ways to cultivate similar practices at home. For example, joining the online purity classes and meditations, which if you're here, you've likely popped on some of the other classes and tea times and things like that. So that's a great space to start developing that mind-body connection and to notice without judgment. And then the other thing that's really supportive is bringing those words to mind on a regular basis. Notice without judgment, and perhaps even putting them on a sticky note in your bathroom or on your fridge. Use those words as a daily mantra when you feel the fear rising up. Or, I don't personally have kids at home, but I know a lot of people with kids home from school, that can cause a lot of chaos. So as you notice that chaos coming up, remember that mantra of noticing without judgment. Ask yourself, How can I notice and honor my experience? How can I notice and honor my feelings without judgment? They're not good. They're not bad. They simply are. Are you feeling frustrated, angry, scattered, or afraid? Notice those feelings without judgment. Allow them. Now, when I say allow them, I don't mean that you should act on them. I mean be with them. Can you shut yourself in the bathroom for just a few minutes to just sit with your feelings and honor them? Be present with them. Wherever you're at, whatever emotions you're processing, we're all processing these experiences very differently. So it's important to notice that. Like, if you need to shut yourself away, go for it. If you need to go out and exercise somewhere, do that while social distancing. And also, I realize that there are so many emotions coming up in very scattered ways because we're all processing it, again, very differently. For some people, old trauma is coming up or coping mechanisms that they thought were no longer there. And so notice if this feeling, this noticing without judgment, feels like too much. Because sometimes sitting with yourself and being present can feel like a lot if you have old stuff coming up. And that's okay too. Notice if it's too much for you and honor that. Allow that to be true. Honor your experience of it being too much. It's all part of this practice. Just noticing where you're at right now without judging it, and then moving forward with the next supportive action you can take. So, we've been going for about 10 minutes, and this is supposed to just be kind of like a short check-in, just a little tea time to hang out together and to just check in this afternoon. So what I would love to do is to actually walk us through a brief meditation to practice noticing without judgment. So before I actually get started on that, I'm going to sip my coffee real quick. All right. Awesome. Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to have to go back and read some of these comments because it's showing up very uniquely on this new Facebook Live portal. So, all right. So let's go ahead and just create a little bit of space to practice this, just with a short meditation and checking in with where you're feeling this afternoon, and I'll be checking in with where I'm at this afternoon. So, I would love for you to just hold your warm cup of tea. If possible, place your feet flat on the floor. Close your eyes and just notice. First, take a few full, deep, deliberate breaths. Notice how this feels. Notice the gentle fall and the rise of your belly and chest. Know that you are right where you need to be, in the here and the now. Notice the way the floor feels beneath you, the texture of the chair you're sitting on, the warmth of the mug in your hands. The smells around you, the tastes in your mouth. Notice if you feel any tension in your body. Breathe into it. Allow your exhale to release the tension. Now simply notice, what am I feeling in this moment? Try to implement today's conversation and simply notice without judgment. Next, ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need? And what is one thing I can do to support myself and meet this need today? Take a few more deep breaths, and whenever you're ready, open your eyes and come back to join me. So, to support you on this journey, I have a free meditation and a worksheet that I'm going to drop into the comments. They're in the description of this live as well. Because this practice that we just did of meditation, it is its most powerful when we can check in every day. Just asking ourselves those questions. What am I feeling right now? What do I need right now? How can I honor that? So I recommend out of the worksheet and the meditation that you start with the meditation and then utilize the information you gather from that to help you in filling out the worksheet. So we went through a lot today, and I went through it pretty quickly. I actually did really well on my time. So we did go through a lot, and feelings can get especially heavy. So before we close, I just want to make sure I mention that as you go through these different processes, as you seek to be present with yourself, if you need extra support, please reach out to one of us at Purity, and we would love to support you or direct you to a local therapist who can support you. It is so important to remember that as we are all experiencing this differently, some old things do come up, and sometimes it's old trauma and old coping mechanisms that need some extra support. So please reach out to us, and if we are unqualified, we can always pass you on to a therapist as well. So it's so important also to take really good care of yourself, double up on the self-care, and know that we are here for you and we are on your team. So let me know how this all sits with you, whether you're watching the replay or watching live. I would love to answer your questions and just kind of hear how this resonates with you and hear how the whole week has been going. I've been popping into a few things here and there. Honestly, I've been mostly watching the replays because I've been very careful with my own social media intake and just intake of content in general. So if you're watching the replay, I feel you. So yes, thank you so much for joining me. And if you did find this supportive and are able and in a place that you could provide monetary compensation, I have a PayPal link in my live description as well. So I do this because I feel that it's really important to continue encouraging the flow of money, myself included, to keep the local economy functioning. And I know that I am also doing my best to show up in this way. If you're unable to do that, please don't worry about it. It's just my way of noticing as a collective, we have the opportunity to continue showing up in all kinds of different ways. And I think for me personally, I find that it is important to encourage that still. Also, a link to my website is available in the description, and on there I have a year's worth of free podcast episodes, blog posts, and some other free content to support you. We are all on this journey together, and I just want to let you know that I am a resource and I'm here for you. So, all right, this has been wonderful. Thank you all for being here with me today, and I hope to see you more on the Purity page and all of the conversations that we've been having. So, sending lots of light and love. Keep showing up for you. All right, now I have to figure out how to actually close this live. All right. Oh, hey, Brandy. It's good to see you. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to turn this off. There we go. Okay, bye, everyone.